is up and welcome back to my channel. Today is the long-awaited 1-month MacBook Air M1 update slash review for you guys. I've officially had my MacBook for about a month now and you guys blow up my unboxing video. Every single day there's a comment on it saying, can you please film a review? Can you tell us how you like it? So I'm here to sit down super quickly and tell you guys how I like it. This isn't gonna be like a crazy long 20-30 minute video going right into specs. You guys know I'm not a tech YouTuber, but there's plenty of amazing reviews out there. But a lot of people wanted to know, as a content creator, how I liked this computer, if it was better than the Pro, especially with using video editing software. But honestly, without further ado, let's just jump into the video. Honestly, there's way more pros than there are cons, and my cons are not really anything. I have everything written down on my computer, so if you guys catch me looking over, that's why. I wanted to talk to you guys about some of the reasons that I bought the MacBook Air M1 over the Pro. First was the price. It is significantly cheaper than the Pro, even the M1 Pro. I'll have the prices above in Canadian and USD so you guys can compare the price between the Air and the Pro. The next thing is that the M1 chip is a fanless computer, so it doesn't have that whirling noise. I had a 2015 Air before this and she sounded like she was gonna blow up every time I edited a video, and depending on what you're using the computer for, you might have not even noticed the fan, but for someone who was editing videos every single day, I just had to upgrade. And so that was one of the biggest things I was looking forward to, was having a fanless computer that didn't sound like it was taking off to go to space every time I used it. The next is that everything supposedly was supposed to run a lot quicker on the M1 chip. It was supposed to be kind of like a Pro in an Air, but also that it was just in general a faster computer. Exporting a 10-minute video at 1080 would take me about an hour on my 2015 Air, and now it takes me not even 5 minutes, so that was a huge factor for me as well, as someone who's doing a lot of video editing. Those were kind of the main reasons I purchased the Air over the Pro. Let's get into the pros and then we'll finish off with the cons because there's not that many. Before we get into the pros and cons, I wanted to address my first day with it. So one of the big cons I had read from a lot of reviews on the internet was that everyone's first day on it was really slow, and I definitely had that as well. My iMovie would like freeze over clips and like take sound out and stuff. A few other reviews on the internet said the same thing with video editing on Final Cut Pro and iMovie, and honestly I just rebooted the computer and it was fine after that. I've had no issues since. It was totally fine after day 2. So reviews in Apple just say that the computer could have still been indexing and doing some big installations after taking it out of the box, copying a lot of large files, which can cause kind of like erratic behavior in a laptop. So that was the only thing, and that was one of the frequent cons I kept reading about in reviews before I bought it. So just a heads up, it did happen to me, but after that, day 2 and ever since, it's been completely fine. Pros. First one is that it is super lightweight compared to my 2015 Air. It is literally insane. I can't believe it. I can't compare it to a Pro, but it is insanely lightweight, and I love it. Controversial, but I actually didn't care to have one with the touch bar. I know a lot of people are returning their M1s because they miss the touch bar, but I never had a touch bar, and when I went to the Apple store and looked at computers, like, it wasn't a big factor for me. I didn't even like it, honestly. I didn't like the look of it. I know it's gonna be controversial, but I just thought it was like kind of stood out like an eyesore, and I don't know. I just prefer a computer to have an actual keyboard with no touch bar. But Touch ID is super convenient on it. Keep in mind that I'm upgrading from a 2015 Air to a 2020, so ID is seriously so convenient. Super quick with opening software. It could take me upwards of 1 to 2 minutes to open up iMovie and other softwares on my 2015 Air, and this opens within a few seconds. It is so quick. It is on the cheaper side of MacBooks for the quality that you get. You're quite literally getting a MacBook Pro for Air pricing, which is great. Okay, so because it's fanless, obviously pros are it doesn't heat up. My MacBook Air would get really hot before, and it doesn't have like the whirling fan or any of that noise. The battery life is great on it. I used to have to charge my MacBook about 2 to 3 times a day, and MacBook battery life is insane. I'm literally on my laptop all day, every day, with working a 9 to 5, doing YouTube, the podcast, Instagram, all that. I'm always on my computer, and I can make it 2 days on this, and that is using it for 8 hours straight. It is such insane battery life, and I'm sure the Pro is probably even better. I had the butterfly keyboard before, so I really like the keyboard style on this. It's a bit of a newer keyboard, and the keys are raised, which makes it just a bit smoother and nicer to use. My favorite features, which is a Pro for me, it's just like a personal feature, is the do not disturb function. I always have my phone on do not disturb, so it's really nice to be able to put my MacBook on do not disturb if I'm in a call or something. So those are all of my pros. Like I said, the pros definitely outweigh the cons. And now let's just jump into the cons. Like I said, one of the big first cons I had was that slow first day, which we can attribute to, you know, processing files and installation and stuff. I have two cons. One is a very common con you're going to hear across the internet with the M1 series is the lack of USB hub. I always, like, I walk around with my computer like this because I have to have the adapter in it. So that's the only con that I really can think of that like kind of bothers me, but not enough to get an older Pro. I obviously unplug it and stuff, but since I do edit externally, I basically have to have this plugged in 24/7. The only other con I have, which isn't really a big con if you don't edit videos a lot, is because I edit externally off of a hard drive, it does take a second or two longer to open. Sometimes it can take upwards of 30 seconds, sometimes a minute, not even, to open my external hard drive library on iMovie. That being said, I have heard it's the same across the board with the Pros, but just keep that in mind if you guys are editing externally, that it is a little bit slower to start up. I did say that applications are really quick to open, and they are, but when you're editing off an external hard drive like I am, it can take a little bit longer, but it's not the end of the world to me. I'm just really at this point trying to think of cons to mention. Those are all of my cons, and then I quickly wanted to kind of just chat about my thoughts, if you should get it or not, because I get DMs all the time saying like, hey, I watched your unboxing, do you think I should get it? If you guys aren't using it for editing or anything, 100% I think you need to go with the Air. It is so great. Like I said, it's a MacBook Pro quality and an Air price. It's awesome. It's amazing. I couldn't recommend it enough. Same thing goes if you are editing. I think I would still recommend this computer. I don't plan on trading it in as of right now for the Pro. I do really love it. And when I asked Apple about, you know, how it takes a bit longer to open my external hard drive library and would that be different on a MacBook Pro, they said no. They just said, you know, sometimes on an external hard drive it can take a second longer. So I'm wondering, yes, I highly recommend this computer even if you're video editing. Personal preference if you want to have an Air or a Pro, but I quite literally edit every single day. I export every single day. I upload at least 3 to 4 times a week on YouTube. I am always on my computer. So I think it's fair to say, I think I have some expertise when it comes to the video editing review on the MacBook Air. But yeah, I think it's so nice, like I said, to have a pro quality computer at an Air price. So overall, I highly recommend. You any questions about it and whether you should get it or not, I highly recommend sending me a DM. I reply to all my DMs and comments. But I hope you guys enjoyed this review and it helped to clarify things up a little bit for you. Don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up if you guys did enjoy. Subscribe if you're not already, and I'll chat with you guys next time.